What's up, guys? I figured for today's video I would kind of piggyback off of the last video I did with my most anticipated films of the year, since I talked about Spider-Man 3, and now they've officially announced that they've got like the name for the movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. Figured I'd do some Spider-Man reviews, and I would like to start with the original trilogy, of course, and that means starting with the first Spider-Man movie. So, Spider-Man 2002. I'm gonna say this right off the bat to kind of, this is a bit of a spoiler alert for where this review is going, but this movie is my favorite movie of all time. I love this original Spider-Man movie. It's the one I watched the most when I was a kid. It's the one I have the most nostalgia for, so obviously that plays a heavy role in my love for the film. But um, yeah, just Spider-Man 2002. This came out during a time when superhero movies were really starting to get big. You know, you had the Batman and Superman movies from DC, but Marvel hadn't really come onto the scene yet. Obviously, you had Blade, but then Spider-Man came out, and Spider-Man exploded, and it was a huge box office success. Made like 825 million, so obviously it did great, and it really kind of paved the way for superhero films to come, and that's one of the things I love about it. You have Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, who is honestly my favorite Spider-Man of all time, which makes sense. My favorite Spider-Man movie, favorite Spider-Man actor. He's great. I know a lot of people think that his performance is maybe a little bit dated. I don't think it is personally. I know a lot of people think this movie's dated. I don't think it is. But yeah, Tobey Maguire, he's great as Spider-Man. The speech he gives at the beginning about, you know, his life and how somebody tells you it's just an average tale, somebody lied. I love that. Um, you also get some other performances here, like Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, which that guy is amazing in that role. You have James Franco as Harry Osborn, Peter's best friend, of course. He's great, and obviously he's a recurring character that I really like to see in the other movies. You have Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson. She's great in her portrayal. Um, and I love the kind of transition Peter Parker has to go through in this film. Um, you know, he starts out as just kind of like the nerd who gets bullied in high school, and then he gets bit by the spider, and he goes through this transition when he's getting his powers, where he beats up Flash Thompson, the big high school bully, and he at first just has no interest in using his powers in anything other than personal gain. You know, he goes to this wrestling event, he beats up this guy who is played by Macho Man Randy Savage. He beats this guy up and he wins. He only gets like $100, even though he was promised 3,000. Um, and you know, he lets this guy who comes in and robs the place. He lets him get away, and then unfortunately, he has to learn the hard way that, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Because his Uncle Ben, who said that famous line, gets killed by who Peter thinks is the same mugger, but obviously you get a plot twist in the later films. Um, and so he has to make that transition about, you know, using his powers for the common good. And I love that kind of message about not being greedy and not being selfish, being responsible, really. And some of the action sequences too are just phenomenal. Like I remember whenever Spider-Man and Green Goblin like first fight each other, you know, he's throwing bombs around on his glider and he's like turning people into skeletons. He nearly kills MJ. The people at the Daily Bugle are awesome. Especially J. Jonah Jameson. I loved that portrayal. by J.K. Simmons. He's a great actor. He's hilarious in that role. And I also like how the Green Goblin kind of has this split personality to where you have Norman Osborn who doesn't really want to kill anyone, but then you have the Green Goblin who's kind of, feeding into that, and he really is persuading Norman to just kill and attack Spider-Man's heart with doing some of the things he does, like going after MJ, going after Aunt May. And there's just so many aspects of this film that I could probably go on and on about for a long time, but yeah, this movie is phenomenal. Like I said, favorite movie of all time. Kind of fitting that this is the first movie I review um, on my channel. So, yeah, Spider-Man 2002. I can't recommend it enough. Great film, all around. That is my review. Uh, I'm sure I'll get around to the other two films soon enough. Talk about the Amazing Spider-Man movies and the two MCU Spider-Man films that we've gotten. Again, trying to lead up to this new Spider-Man movie. Hope you guys did enjoy. Um, I, any support you guys give, it really means a lot to me, especially with the fact that I'm just starting. I really do appreciate all of you guys who support me. Um, so yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, rock on forever.